Dave, before we get into talking about the Boston Celtics and is it time to panic in Boston, let's talk about today's sponsor of the show today. If you are sitting there at home and you're like, especially with all this snow that is hitting everywhere, you're like, man, I'm going to be home for a while. I'm going to be I've got the quarantine beard going on. I've also got the quarantine beard down below as well, Dave. You can't see it, but I had the quarantine beard down below. Manscaped.com. It's going to help you out, Dave. It's going to make sure that you're prim and proper. You're feeling smooth. Your basketballs are right for the game when that game time eventually does come. Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. They offer precision-engineered tools for your delicate family jewels. 2 million men worldwide are using Manscaped right now. You can join the family as well. They are the place for all your grooming needs. And right now, 20% off and free shipping. Go to manscaped.com. Use the code MVP, and you can get just that, 20% off and free shipping. MVP, go ahead, use that code, manscaped.com. And Dave, we do move on into the next segment, and that is your good old team, Dave, the team you love to talk about, the player you love to talk about, and Kemba Walker. And actually, Kemba Walker had a quote here, Dave. The exact quote from ESPN says, "We just need to play harder. That's it. We're not playing hard. We're not playing as hard as we know we can."
Why didn't anybody else tell that?
When you play hard, great things happen. And right now, it just hasn't been consistent, our play. So like I said, we're going to continue to watch film and learn from our mistakes and get better. Dave, this is a Boston team that in their last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are 3-7 in their last 10. In February, they are 3-8 in the month of February. Dave, is it time to panic if you're a Boston fan out there?
Oh, yeah. It's time to panic over there. I mean, look, they went into this offseason with some known issues. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they had to address the center position. They had Gordon Hayward, who was a commodity that did not want to be there anymore. Mm-hmm. You had a scumbag with chronic knee injuries as your starting point guard. So, obviously, multiple holes on this team. And what did they do, Ricky? They went out and they signed TT, undersized center who can rebound, rim protect a little, but notoriously has been bullied by their biggest competitor in the Eastern Conference in Joel Embiid, and has not played amazing against Giannis Antetokounmpo. So not quite sure how that solves that issue. You go point two. Let's look at the draft. Hey, maybe they did something good in the draft, Ricky. How many picks did the Celtics have in this fucking draft?
A lot, Dave. They had a lot.
They had a lot. Sure felt like they had a lot.
War chest. The war chest, Dave.
Now, Ricky, there are a couple of smart guys who talked about how this team had to trade up.
I even had them trading up. Oh, wait, am I one of the guys? I even had them trading up with the Pistons, who would have loved 3 picks, by the way, Dave, as we saw in the draft, getting first-rounders left and right.
They have had all the assets under the sun, but Danny Ainge can't fucking get it up anymore. Like, that's where I'm going with this. Look, you nailed Jason Tatum. You nailed Jaylen Brown. No one's arguing with that. Mm-hmm. But since then, what have you done? Gordon Hayward, you fucked up. Mm-hmm. You absolutely fucked up. You could have had Miles Turner and Dougie McBuckets, who would have helped you immensely. Mm-hmm. Nah, don't want it. Bad contract, guys. Bad contract. I know better than that. Let's get a $27 million trade exception, which we're inevitably going to use to get Al Horford back. The fuck? Like, that's the most Celtics thing in the goddamn world. The draft, like we said, again, just Peyton Pritchard has been a pleasant surprise. He's not a world beater by any means. LaMelo Ball kicks the living shit out of him morning, noon, and night. That one hurt my brain a little. Noon. I was like noon and night. But look, he is performing well for a 23-year-old point guard who has played 4 years of college already. So, hey, be happy with you nailed a hopefully can't miss bench point guard for your future. That's your contribution to this class right now. That's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. I can't fucking believe how angry Boston Celtics fans must be to have to deal with Aaron Nesmith's struggles, A. Romeo Langford's struggles, B, Grant Williams, who was a nice player, but again, upperclassman in college when they drafted him, he was kind of a tweener without a real position because his game didn't exactly translate outside of that Tennessee offense, which, again, he wasn't there supremely for his offense. He was there for his defense, his hustle. His smart playmaking at times was very nice for that Tennessee team, but point being, it feels like they've just fucked themselves in the draft year over year since they drafted Jason Tatum. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. Everybody else has gotten to the point of we draft our players, we develop them, and when we move forward, and then in free agency, great. Obviously we can talk about the IT, the lack of fucking trust. Hey, we're going to make this guy play on the death of a family member and bust up fucking hip that ruins his career, and then kick him out of town for Kyrie. Kyrie's not a great match here because reasons. We're not quite sure what went wrong there. Something's not great, so we'll flip Kyrie out too. Great. We got Kemba Walker. We got an old point guard with bad knees now. Massive deal. What? Like, I hate it. I hate it, Ricky. I don't know if you can tell, I hate it.
Dave's like, I'm just gonna rant.
There are so many reasons this team should be fucking Eastern Conference just dominance.
No,
like
they should.
It should be the amount of assets they had, but the fact that they have a gutless GM at this point, they're stuck in the middle. It's embarrassing. I mean, they're literally a 500 team right now, right? Are they 500?
They are. Let me pull up their schedule. They are 13-13. You are right. They are at the good old 500.
In the East.
Yeah.
In the East,
No,
I'm sorry, I'm going Trump hands on you, but in the East, they're a 500 team.
Yeah.
How embarrassing is this for Boston? It's hilarious. I mean, and I'm sure we're going to hear how they've offered 17 first round picks. And somebody else for a deal that somebody turned down that was dumb. Like, yeah, sure. We hear all these leaks about supposed trades that could have happened. Guess what? The results are there.
Yeah.
You have 2 hits in the draft. Marcus Smart, a little further back, still very great, very, very nice player. But like outside of that, what the fuck do you have to show for it? You didn't build a roster around your best talent. You didn't transition from a Eastern Conference fucking push with your IT-led team to a Kyrie-led team to a Kemba-led team now. I'm saying led roughly because point guards, but clearly they weren't the best player on any of those teams. I'm so upset at the missed opportunities. And I think, playing cute, the Matisse Thybulle shit, obviously is one of those things where it's like, oh, yeah. Carson Edwards, a great fucking job there. You sniped in Matisse Thybulle because the 76ers sold their fucking game plan on the internet a week early. And what'd you get out of it? You got a 5'9" guy who can play in the G League. What do you want?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, there's a couple things. Number one, Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is so important to this team. If you were not aware, because basically ever since he's been out on his injury, Dave, where's the fucking defense? Like, he is their main defensive stopper. And from what I'm looking here, there are numerous articles from like over the weekend saying, yeah, he ain't coming back anytime soon. To where the Boston Herald even says no timetable for return from his calf injury. So you're not going to get any love there. Like, you're not going to get any support from him anytime soon. And then it's like I look at the trade market, Dave, because to me, all of this and what you're seeing, if you're a Boston player, I know that over the weekend we were saying, oh, Brad Stevens deserves to be fired. No, Danny Ainge deserves to be fucking canned. That's what he deserves. Like, we are a few years out from Boston hating Danny Ainge, or I hope hating Danny Ainge as much as we hated Garpax here in Chicago. Because all of this is drawn back to Danny Ainge. This is what Danny Ainge does. You ready? You watching my hands, Dave? You watching? Here, what am I doing, Dave? What am I doing?
Sitting on your hands?
I'm sitting on my fucking hands because that's all he does. Oh, I've got all these picks. Go make great moves. And then he never does. You said Trump hands. That's the best thing Danny Ainge is. He's like, Trump, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then he does nothing. No
Rick, I heard they were going to give Anthony, they were going to give up 7 first-round picks and Jaylen Brown for Anthony Davis. And then they were, the next time around, when Kawhi was up, they were going to give 8 first-round picks and Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
and they still wouldn't take the deal.
Yeah.
How dumb are those teams, right?
Yeah, and here's the problem too, where I look at the trade market. We've talked about Boston's trade market. You can go ahead on our YouTube page, videos.
I mean,
there.
it's just Kevin O'Connor rent free in my brain, so we have to talk about it because I won't shut up about it. I apologize to Ricky numerous times about this.
See, I don't mind
cannot
it, though.
spout my anger.
Here's the thing: in that video, we brought up two of the guys that I think are trade targets. Andre Drummond, and then you brought up Harrison Barnes. And many Celtic fans were like, dude, if we can get both of those, like, that would be amazing. Here's the problem, Dave. Just to make the contracts work, I'm not even throwing out this trade because I don't know who's going where. I was just picking who's going where because I'm like, how do they make this work? In order to get both of those on their team, with the trade exception, Dave, they would have to trade Tice, Edwards, Williams, Langford, Teague, TT, Semi Ojeleye, and Aaron Nesmith. Now, it's worth it, but it's one of those things like I don't even know where either of those goes. Like right now, I put it to where the Kings would get Jeff Teague, TT, Semi Ojeleye, Aaron Nesmith, and then a first-round pick this year because I think all of that value is still not enough for Harrison Barnes. I might be overvaluing Harrison Barnes.
No, I mean the problem is it's a bunch of unproven players and one washed-up player.
Yeah,
and they don't want
know if they want TT because they got fucking Holmes and Bagley down there.
Exactly.
And then
space to play those motherfuckers.
And then on the Cavs side, I put Daniel Tice.
Whiteside too. You can take Whiteside back with you.
Yeah, you can take Whiteside. But like I look at it and it goes just the contracts that they will have to take into where it's like, is there even a trade out there that helps them right now that instantly makes all of their problems go away? Is there? I don't know. Like this helps. Drummond and Barnes would help, but like this is a team to where I feel like if they don't make the play, like now yet again, I'm gonna look at the standings.
East. They would literally have to stumble into a pocket of COVID in order to not make the playoffs.
Right now, they're the 5th seed, and the Pacers right now have been a hot can of garbage lately.
Yeah, they have stubbed their toe on a desk.
Dude, if they lose to the Bulls tonight in Indy,
they're playing right now. We have a watch along with 5 people in our Discord right now. Shout out Discord. If you guys aren't in Discord, join the Grace
thing again. Yeah, well, it's one of those where it's like I don't know if it's the.
There we go.
I don't know if it's the microphone or my headset. I keep trying to unplug it. It sounds muffled again. And I fucking hate it. It just drives me crazy.
Again, I think we're both getting to the point of this is a team that needed to make moves, didn't make moves, and is now stuck with the repercussions of having a team with a bunch of low draft picks on their roster, filling out a bench that desperately needs guys who can play and help right now, and they don't have that.
I was going to say, are they a first round, like done in the first round team? Do they lose to the Pacers in the first round? Do they lose to this? Oh, if the Hornets knock them out in the first round, Dave, if that's a matchup that happens, Melo knocking them out?
I love the Hornets. I'm just going to make that out loud.
Dave's number 2 team. Or no, they're number 1 team. Right?
I become a Hornets fan with the addition of LaMelo Ball on top of Monk, Graham, Rozier, like and Hayward. Hey, hang on a sec, Ricky. Hayward, who's playing like an all-star. Rozier, who just knocked down 230 plus, I think 330 plus games. That's weird, right?
It all comes.
Where did those guys come from?
It all comes back full circle, Dave. It all comes back.
Where did those guys come from, Ricky?
Yeah, it's weird. It all comes back full circle on it, and
it's very, very funny to just look at the situation and the frustration of Boston. And I agree. I'm sorry. I don't agree. I think that even with all of those ridiculous things happening, I don't know if you can hear me right now.
I can.
Even with all that ridiculous, you're saying, could they lose in the first round? I still don't. I wouldn't bet on it because Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are that fucking good this year. Those two men will go to war, and they've had playoff experience since day one, and you can't replicate that. Like you can say, hey, LaMelo Ball is a shining star. He's the future of the NBA. Guess what? LaMelo Ball hasn't played a playoff game. Like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum have put in their time. They've played against LeBron James. You don't get better practice than that. And that's what I absolutely love about this team is like you have fucking warriors with Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, I respect the fuck out of those guys. Marcus Smart. But you have a point guard who literally is useless out there, even though he's starting to shoot better. We'll see about the uptick. Thank you, your boy Cheech. That's awesome. Appreciate the sub. But like, they need so much, and yet this roster, as constructed, still is not a first round out.
Yeah,
they're a 500 team in the East, and I'm still saying, watch out for them in playoffs because these three guys can absolutely do a carry job.
I don't know, Dave. I'm gonna say it. They're done.
Like $27 million, Ricky. They gotta make something happen, right?
Without Marcus Smart, they're done.
Ricky, if they fucking finish this season without using that $27 million exception,
they ain't gonna.
On someone.
They ain't gonna. Like, and this is me being brutally honest. Like, in the past, Dave, on the fast break, I would totally fucking be all in. I'd be like, Danny Ainge has gotta use it. They gotta use it. I'm sorry, like, I am speaking to JD here because he's our resident Boston fan in the Discord. More Boston fans, go ahead and join the Discord. Help JD out in some of these conversations. But yeah, they're done. Don't expect Danny Ainge to make a move. I'm gonna Nostradamus it right now. We're gonna play this back, whether I'm right or wrong, because I'm like that. When I'm wrong, I still put it out there. Danny Ainge ain't gonna make no fucking move. They're gonna get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. And then Boston fans will want Brad Stevens fired and not Danny Ainge fired. That's 1, 2, 3, bada bing, bada boom, book it. Like, that's a 3-game parlay you can fucking set because that's good odds right there. Okay.
I do want to address the coaching of Brad Stevens. Do you think?
No, but he's better than most options.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can be frustrated at the lack of success this year, but without a guy to replace him, I don't know why you would remove him. Mm-hmm. I think you want change for change's sakes, but you're blaming the guy who got dealt the shit hand, not the dealer. You know, that's what the situation is right now. How is he supposed to win without a true point guard, without a true big, and with little to no depth out there?
It takes. Like, the Bulls are starting to understand. It takes a front office and a coach, Dave. It takes a front office and a coach working together.